morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. There we go. It is Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. I hope your week is going really well. And we are ready. We are ready to start our day with every one of you in a journey of our self, our sense of self. What makes up our sense of self is the whole collection of all our thoughts, emotions, feelings, the things that run through our minds, the emotions that course through our bodies. The collection of all of these is what we think of as self, what we think of as who it is that we are. Swami Vivekananda is our teacher this week, and I'm using a couple of his quotes to get us into our meditation today. Somebody, good morning. I'm loving your cup of coffee in your comment. The right way to start a day. Maybe it's a cup of tea, but it looks like a cup of coffee from here. Right, the first thought by Swami Vivekananda says, if I love myself despite my infinite faults, how can I hate anyone at the glimpse of a few faults? Annie, good morning. Ilza, good morning. Awesome seeing you guys. I know that I'm not seeing everyone because Facebook's not showing me anything on the top of my screen, so I'm only seeing the comments that come in. Everything else is blank to me today. Yeah, there's a smell of rain in the air, Ilza. I agree. It's a beautiful morning indeed. Right, Swami Vivekananda's words. If I love myself despite my infinite faults, how can I hate anyone at the glimpse of a few faults? That's really very practical, because if I can find a way to love myself despite my glaring faults, mistakes, imperfections, if I am able to love myself even in the face of everything that I know I do wrong, wouldn't it be so much easier to have a space of compassion for the humans around us? And that's really true. It practically works that way. However, that first step is a huge one. To love myself despite my infinite faults. That is no mean feat. That's a huge accomplishment. To be able to look at all my mistakes, all my faults, and still love myself. Leshna, good morning. It's really good to see you. And our meditation today is an exploration of that. Can I look at the parts of me that worry me, the parts of me that disturb me, and can I find myself holding those parts in a different way? Can I find myself having more acceptance for the parts of me that I normally don't like? That will be our journey today. So one more thought. Swami Vivekananda says, talk to yourself at least once in a day. Otherwise, you may miss a meeting with an excellent person in this world. And that is exactly what we're doing. That is what our meditation today is doing. Let me read it again. Talk to yourself at least once in a day, otherwise you may miss a meeting with an excellent person in this world. I love that thought. So if you're ready, our meditation today is called A Sense of Self. It helps us explore the things that are there, thoughts, feelings, emotions, parts of us we might not get along with so well, and having that conversation with ourselves. Good morning, Charlene. You are just in time. Here we go. If you're ready, you can close your eyes and we'll float away together. Starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in. And out. Take a deep breath in. go. Big breath in. And out. One more deep breath in. And let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you breathe in, raise yourself up, stretch out your spine, and lift the top of your head towards the ceiling. Once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. As you breathe out, soften. As you exhale, soften your spine, slump your shoulders, and drop your head. Imagine yourself breathing, sitting where you are, full body breathing, rising and falling. Imagine being able to look at that and see. Inhale, your body rises. Exhale, your body falls. And for today's journey, we are inviting all the, let's call them difficult parts that we might struggle with. These could be things like sadness, anger, fear, shame, guilt. Those are some examples. You might know better. These parts of us that we sometimes struggle with. I'd love for you to invite them in and ask them to come and sit and breathe along with you. In my mind, this looks almost like story time in a grade 1 class. The teacher is collecting the children around her feet, ready to read a story. You are bringing together the parts of you and asking them to sit and breathe along with you. And as your body rises and falls, could you imagine seeing these parts breathing, rising and falling along with you? Some examples of who might be there. There might be sadness. There might be anger. There might be fear. There might be a part called guilt. There might be a part called shame. It is up to you to invite whichever inner voices you are struggling with. Just like the quotes we started with this morning, talk to yourself. Today's meditation is having a conversation with some of these parts we have. And while it's not an absolute necessity, it helps if you can form some kind of a visual idea of what this part of you looks like. What does sadness look like? What does your anger look like? Last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch, adjust, and settle down. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward. And roll out your neck muscles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. And one more big breath in. As you release, you can stretch, move, or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. In this beautiful space of being present, we can turn inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a long, slow exhale. Let's take a deep breath in. And hold. As you release. longest, slowest exhale that you can. Take a deep breath in. And hold. As you release, feel into your body. See how much you can feel of the muscles inside your body. And try and guide every muscle to softness. Take a deep breath in. And hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow. Feel how your shoulders slowly fall, how your body slowly softens. Feel how you slowly slip deeper and deeper into you. One more big breath in. And hold. As you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your body dissolving. Feel yourself slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. Continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. You are holding you inside of you. Hold your breath only for as long as it feels easy. And follow it every time with the longest, slowest exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, remind yourself of the little ones you invited to sit at your feet. Can you recognize who is there? Some examples might be sadness, anger, fear, shame, guilt, or maybe you have some specific examples I didn't mention. But as you take your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, pay attention to these little ones. Take your next big breath. I'll focus on just 2 examples for us today. Please remember that you are free to pay attention to whatever is calling within you. The first example we'll pay attention to is sadness. A part of you that feels sad, often feels sad. Again, you're welcome to use your own examples. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, I want you to remind yourself of what this part of you often says. What are the words that come up when you feel this way? What is the narrative or the collection of narratives that often play in your mind when you feel this way? And for this exercise, see if it's possible for you to get a good look at this part of you. Are you able to see or imagine to see what this part of you looks like? Take your next big breath. We'll do the same thing again with your next big breath as you dive deep into you. A reminder of the way that this part of you speaks, the words that this part of you uses. What does it often repeat? Take your next big breath. While you look at this part of you, and as you take your next big breath, I'd love you to ask this part of you a question. The question is very simple, but it helps us understand. As you look at this part, in this example, it is sadness. Please ask this part of you, what is it that you are afraid will happen? And see if you can continue just listening. So with your next big breath, ask sadness, what is it that you are afraid will happen? Take your next big breath. thank this part for showing up the way it did. Whatever it was sharing, whatever it was answering or not answering. Thank you. And we'll shift our attention to one more example. Again, you are welcome to use whichever examples are more real for you right now. But we'll use the example of shame. Part of you that feels ashamed. Can you get a good look at what this part of you looks like? It's not super important, but it's helpful if you can. As you take your next big breath and as you dive deep into you, remind yourself of the way this part of you speaks. What are the words, the sentences that often come up into your mind and you repeat when you feel ashamed? What are the things you feel ashamed of? Take your next big breath. We'll do it one more time. Allow this part of you to speak while you listen. Allow her to say all of the things she always says when you feel ashamed. And for the moment, just listen. Take your next big breath. While you try and get a good look at this part of you, I'd like you to ask her a question. The question is simple. What is it that you are afraid will happen? What is it that you are afraid will happen? And just see if you can get an answer. Take your next big breath. thank all of these parts for how they show up. Thank them for their sharing this morning. It takes a lot of courage to sit with these things. And it takes a lot of courage to have these conversations, even just with ourselves. A big thank you to each and every one of them. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, slipping out of the breath holding space and into the next. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, you get a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, invite softness into every cell of your body. One more big breath in and hold. As you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. You're welcome to find how right now in this moment the arrangement of you and these parts of you would be most positive. Would you like to have them sit closer to you? Would they like to sit closer? Would you like to have them sit on your lap? Would they like to sit on your lap? Having this kind of inner conversation, especially if it's done regularly, slowly makes one thing perfectly clear. Everything we have inside of us has been doing its best to help us cope, to help us feel like we can somehow survive. Every one of these inner voices and inner narratives are trying to help you reach for a way to stay alive, even if it's just giving you warnings of what it's afraid would happen if you didn't listen. Through continuous conversation with these parts inside of us, it makes complete sense why there would be this voice that says these things. When I understand what it is warning against. The poet and philosopher Rilke had the most beautiful way to describe this. We sometimes speak of our inner demons. He called them dragons. And he said, perhaps everything that scares us, perhaps everything inside of us that scares us, is just something that is itself afraid and in need of our love. Everything inside of you that might scare you is simply a part of you that is afraid and in need of your love and your acceptance. Thank you for your willingness to be on this journey today. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for a new, deeper level of self-understanding. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning, for understanding that nothing inside of me is ever trying to sabotage me. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to see every part of me is actually trying to be helpful. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for seeing how, as we get better at really loving every part of ourselves, really loving ourselves even while we can see all of our flaws. Thank you for seeing how that makes it so much easier to love the humans around us too. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for coming on this journey with us. Hey, Nella, good morning. Michelle, good morning. Estelle, good morning. It's awesome seeing you there. Alistair, I see you popping in. I hope you were able to sit down and meditate with us, man. Please remember, I want to read that. Charlene says, Tara Brach mentions acknowledging our dragons turns them into a sweet little schmooze in one of her talks. I love that. Thanks, Charlene and Ilza. Please remember, if ever during a meditation something comes up that you struggle to deal with, struggle to internalize, struggle to settle, please reach out. That is exactly what I'm here for. Thank you for coming along on the journey. Thank you for your willingness to be on this journey. Have a beautiful day. See you all soon. Ciao, ciao.